Redraw. Redraw. Do you remember? Redraw. Redraw. Do you remember? Redraw.
All right, welcome everybody to Recall Redraw. I'm just gonna do a quick test to make sure audio is sounding good. Emma, can you give me a sound check, please?
Hi, I am here.
All right, cool.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, you're coming in clear. No, there's like a 3-second delay on the stream.
Oh no.
Yeah, on purpose. It's not on purpose. It's just the internet. But cool. All right, everybody, welcome my guest Emma, who also is known as Pseudonym Jones on the internet. Welcome to Recall Redraw. Emma, how are you doing?
I'm happy to be here and mostly awake.
Excellent. And I see you're already cheating because you already have a drawing and you haven't let me draw Worm and a Rock God, which I'm gonna quickly catch up with you here. I can't believe it. Already cheating. I can't believe it.
Sorry. That's just how I roll.
Yeah. But it's really nice to have you here. I have admired your art for quite a while now. I'm pretty sure the way I encountered it first was through Silver Sprocket. You have a collection of Family and Spatzel comics. And I remember picking it up. I remember really loving it. And then I think I probably followed you on Twitter back when,
When it existed?
when it existed, when it wasn't a fucking like flaming dumpster. But now
it's truly miserable.
Yes. Terrible. But you're thankfully now on Blue Sky. Actually, Emma's socials are right there on the top right if you'd like to give her a follow.
Pseudonym Jones on pretty much everything.
Yeah. But I one thing that really drove me really close to your work is I think we have the similar wavelength of enjoyment of our childhood video games. Particularly one I don't know if I say this company's name if they're gonna take down the stream or not, but our good friend Nintendo has treated us very, very well in regards to inspiration and the stuff that we love to draw, really. I'm pretty sure one of the first drawings I saw you do was actually not even, because I think when they released the concept art for like Wapeach,
oh God, yeah.
I think that was only 2 years ago or something.
It was relatively recent.
Yeah. And you made some really fun drawings of those characters. But just in general, just like Birdo's my favorite Mario character like ever, and you've done some really beautiful Birdo art.
That's true.
And just in general, like I think I've just also like I got to know your work when I was kind of coming out as trans and like understanding what that meant to me. And like my wife and we've both really enjoyed a lot of your comics about the trans experience. I think the first one I saw was you're the only person I know, to my knowledge, who's drawn Pope Benedict, which I don't know if there's a community out there for like Pope art. But you did a really great job with a comic about you and your wife getting married, which I thought was like super cute.
Pope fan art isn't the right word because I am not a fan. I was never a fan of Pope.
Is there do people make hate art? Like I just feel like if you hate something so much, I feel like if you hate
that's like,
is it a genre?
It's gotta be.
But I feel like if you hate it, no. But if you hate it, why would you give it life? Why would you give it time?
It's a fantastic question. But then you go on the internet and you see people doing that literally nonstop.
So
giving all their time to things they hate.
True.
I think at least coming out the other side of it with like a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah. Toxic. Somebody Modbat in the chat says it's Toxic Yuri. People definitely make art.
Me and Pope Benedict, I don't know if I want to say that.
Yeah, but yeah, thank you again for giving us your time. We're gonna get into it later, but you're definitely a busy lady. So any moment that you give us here today is gonna be a blessing. So,
Thank you.
Emma, are you excited for whatever the hell I'm gonna put you through?
I'm a little nervous. I am just generally an anxious person.
Sure.
So not knowing what I'm here to draw is making me a little bit stressed out. But
Okay.
like it's fine. I can survive it. We can fucking do this. Whatever you got.
Okay,
go.
I think you're gonna know exactly what to draw here, but
Okay.
go ahead. I'm gonna let me humor me with the bit I'm going to do. You already know that you're not gonna hear any of this audio, but the audience knows that you're gonna be surprised. The audience is gonna hear this. All right, so folks, are we ready to hear the mystery theme for Emma? I'm gonna burp. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, folks.
Oh shit. I don't know how I can mute this thing.
The
Okay,
mystery.
No, sorry. Go
No, you're
ahead.
good. The mystery theme is. It is Paper Mario, folks. Paper Mario was a delightful game. Wait, hold on. We're getting some interference. Hold on. I tested. Is that the Homestar Runner logo? What is this?
Oh my god.
Is it?
Are you fucking
Wait,
kidding me?
folks. I'm sorry. We can't. The TV glitched out again. The theme for tonight is Paper Homestar Runner. I don't know what the hell. Emma, do you know what the hell this is?
Yeah, this was my favorite thing in the early 2000s. I would stay up late watching Homestar Runner and playing Paper Mario at the same time, and then I would have completely bizarre dreams
Oh no.
about exactly this property.
So maybe dreams are a premonition. Were you having like a that's a Raven moment? Like you were seeing this exact stream
In the future.
Yeah.
That was
Incredible.
looking ahead to this very moment. I never knew. I always knew that I was, a bit of an oracle,
Clairvoyant.
but like, yeah, like I had that power, obviously. But yeah, I'm excited. Okay.
Okay, so do you feel a little more confident that you know what you're gonna do?
No.
Okay.
Confidence doesn't really come naturally, but
Okay.
like, yeah, I can do this.
We'll build up to it. So tell me a little bit, because okay, so I we grew up. We're in the same generation. I definitely grew up around Flash a lot. I was more of a Flash video game nerd. So I was always on like places like Mini Clips, Newgrounds, of course, just any place where I can find a fun little stupid game. But Flash animation was never really the thing that like drew me, and so like I missed out on the whole Homestar Runner like bonanza, and
Oh, you're giving me like a big lead here. I didn't realize you were playing at a disadvantage.
Yes. Again, like I like to pick themes that I know like will resonate the most with my guests, and like you've done your fair share of Homestar Runner fan art, and also just Paper Mario fan art. Some of your favorite characters are from that series, if I remembered correctly.
Yep.
But also, I didn't grow up with. Well, actually, the first Paper Mario, was that on the 64 or was that on GameCube?
I never actually played it. It was on the Nintendo 64.
Okay, wait,
but I came into the series with the 1000-Year Door,
Okay. So
which was the GameCube one.
So my siblings had a Nintendo 64, but I did not. So a lot of the games that they owned were just like wrestling games, and I didn't grow up with the same games that my friends did. So oftentimes, if I wanted to play Smash Brothers, I'd have to go over a friend's house. I only knew about like Paper Mario through like TV commercials or through like. I'd often look up sprites. Like I was really obsessed with the Spriters resource, and just like finding like cool art from the games that I liked, or the games that I couldn't like get. And I remember like really enjoying the Paper Mario style, to the point where like I wish I got these graphics ready, but I made a fan game on paper when I was in elementary school using the Paper Mario art style, but I had no idea what Paper Mario. I'd never played it, and so I just kind of drew the little like dot eyes on Mario and Luigi, and like I would just come up with video game concepts when I was a kid. But essentially, you know, I have no exposure to Paper Mario or to Homestar Runner, so I think you're gonna be carrying me on this one. But are you ready to dive in?
Yeah, sure. I'm pumped. Let's get started.
So usually with for folks who are just joining the stream for the first time, the way Recall Redraw works is we have two segments, two parts. The Recall segment is where we challenge each other to draw a character from memory, so without looking at any reference. In the case where I don't know who the character is or I'm unsure, Emma would have to essentially give me a description, a physical description of the character, and I have to make my drawing based off of those descriptions. And then the second part is going to be the redraw, where we both choose a single character from the property and draw them in our own styles and kind of discuss character design and our decisions. But Emma has been cursed with a hybrid theme, which changes the game just a little bit, where essentially we either have to draw a Paper Mario character in the Homestar Runner style or a Homestar Runner character in the Paper Mario style, which again I am woefully in a disadvantage. So Emma, I'm really gonna rely on you for this one.
Okay.
Alrighty, so let's think of characters. I know one character design that really stuck out to me that I can probably draw not with my eyes shut, but definitely draw without reference. But I would want to challenge you with, I believe the character's name is it like Tubba Clubba? Are you familiar? It'd be so much funnier if you weren't.
I'm not totally. I'm pretty sure I know who that is.
Okay.
Tubba, I'm pretty sure is one of the boss villains from Thousand Year Door.
Correct.
If I'm thinking of the right guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, and then I can give you a physical description, but or you can just run with what you think. Tubba is it? So Marcy Bones says Tubba Blubba. Maybe that's the character. He's in the original. All right, so Tubba Blubba.
I feel like we're confusing. Marcy, I think you're confusing us more. Is it the wrestling guy? Are we talking about like the wrestling promoter guy? Does he have a hat?
He
Are you allowed to
might
answer
actually. I don't.
questions?
The one in my mind is also chat. You cannot really tell us if we're on the right track or not. Oftentimes, what will happen in this segment is we'll often ignore chat by accident just because we're in conversation. So nothing against
y'all.
y'all.
I'm just gonna hide the chat. I'm just gonna hide it. I'm sorry, Marcy. I love you.
But Emma, do you think you want a description? Because it's very clear in my head.
No, I'm just gonna go with who I think this is.
Okay.
Tubba Clubba is definitely not the character that I'm thinking of, but I'm gonna draw the character that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
Because I want to draw them.
And then who would you like to give me?
Well, okay, I'm gonna give you an easy one. The patron saint of all trans girls, and the reason why at least 30% of the trans girls I know are named Vivian. Can you draw Vivian? Do you know Vivian?
I can. I think I only know Vivian because of you. And so
okay.
I'm gonna do my best. But Vivian is a ghost? Is that right?
Vivian's a ghost.
Okay.
Vivian is she's one of the three Shadow Sisters. She is kind of a ghost witch. Vivian.
I will run with that. But I'm pretty sure I think I can definitely make this work. All right, so we got our characters, folks. If we ignore you in the chat, I'm so sorry. This is just the part of the show where it is a little more of like a podcast format. So please, what other chats have done in previous episodes is they've started their own government. They've elected a leader. So do what you need to. I think I have at least one moderator in the chat to make sure like
It isn't going crazy.
All right, Autobot is gonna take care of the chat tonight. All right, good luck, folks. All right, Emma. So tell me a bit about kind of like why kind of, how'd you get introduced to Nintendo or video games? Like, why did you gravitate so much to maybe this game, or if there was another game that you gravitated towards?
That's actually a really good question. So I started playing video games because my dad bought me a Nintendo Entertainment System when I was 4, and I didn't touch it until I was 6.
Why not
get it
for 2 years?
I didn't get it. Like, I was like, what is this?
Oh,
I didn't,
like functionally.
I didn't understand. Like, I didn't touch it. I literally didn't touch it. And then one day, one of my neighbors came over. His name's Andrew. He's a cool kid. One of the cool kids in my neighborhood came over and was like, "Oh, a Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm gonna beat Super Mario Brothers right here, right now." And I was like, "Oh wait, this is actually kind of sick." And I was like, "I want to do this too." So I started playing Mario. That said, why I started playing like Paper Mario, I have no idea. I mean, it's obviously the aesthetics are fantastic. It looks adorable, and it's sort of like a novel, a novel game play, like a novel twist on regular Mario.
Was it your first?
Excuse me, I swear a lot.
Oh no, you're good. This is not a children's. We draw a lot of children's character, but this is definitely not a children's stream. But so was that your first RPG? Because it plays like a turn-based. Correct?
No, it wasn't my first, but I definitely didn't have a. Oh, it does play like an RPG, but it definitely wasn't my first. I don't think. No, I played the Shining Force games, which I loved a lot. Are you familiar with those?
No.
We should draw some Shining Force.
No, not at all. that could be your extra credit. Sure. Oh wait, sorry, I completely forgot. We're drawing Paper Mario characters.
We're supposed to do them in the style.
Homestar style.
Already
okay.
Kind of looks a lot like it.
Okay, I'm still at a loss because how would you describe the Homestar? Sorry to completely derail your story. We'll get back to it. How do you describe the Homestar runner style?
Well, it's flash animation, so it's very flat.
Okay.
Everybody has kind of like simple outlines. Oh, that actually. Okay, this is fantastic. This is gonna completely fill. I'm gonna just cover the fact that I don't really know who I'm drawing. By drawing him like the cheat. Anyway, so yeah, simple outlines, and it's like you can imagine just parts of it moving around. I'm not explaining it very well.
I simple like flash puppets.
Exactly.
I think I can make this work. All right. Sorry, and actually I can't ask you what color Vivian is. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, you got it.
So sorry. So
you're good.
So going back to what you were saying. So you didn't understand how the Nintendo Wow, we've been calling it the full word. You didn't understand how the NES
Nintendo Entertainment System.
And so until this neighborhood kid taught you like, oh, you can have fun playing with these games, and then that kind of unlocked your interest in video games. It seems.
Yes, and then it was pretty much Nintendo all the time.
Were you ever a Sega kid?
Never. Never. I did. I was peer pressured into getting one.
Really?
I got a Sega Genesis at like the very end of its lifespan because I mentioned Shining Force. Now
is that a Sega game?
Second time. It is a Sega game. It's a Sega RPG. The first RPG that I ever really played, and it's the only game. It was that and fucking Earthworm Jim. Of all things, were the only two Sega games I loved or I owned. And yeah, besides that, I've been pretty much just played Nintendo games.
You've just been a Nintendo girly this whole time.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a little embarrassing.
I definitely have the limited scope because the only entertainment system. Sorry, God damn it! I'm not saying the full word.
You can say it. It's fun. It's fun to say it.
The only system I had was a Super Nintendo because it was essentially once my older brother, I'm the youngest of 4, as soon as my older brother was done and he had his own N64 or even when he got a PlayStation 2, I was probably like 10 years old, I bought his Super Nintendo and he sold it to me 3 times because he kept saying, I bought it for $5 each time, and he kept saying like, oh, I didn't sell it to you, what are you talking about? And I had to pay him $5. It's just like older brother behavior. And so like he essentially my parents weren't really buying me systems, but I wasn't really asking for it. I don't know. Like my parents were working class, and it just didn't seem like, it's just kind of like where you just kind of knew you didn't ask for certain things. And so like,
yes, absolutely.
yeah. And so like my older siblings, they were already working, so they were easily like getting themselves whatever they want. And I'm about like, what is it? Like the age gap between me and my other brother is 6 years. And so I essentially just had the Super Nintendo, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with all the adventures. Again, like I had older siblings that could teach me how to play it. Teach me where all the tricks and the secret passages are. In Super Mario World or in Zelda. I wouldn't have been able to beat Zelda if my siblings didn't show me where to go. A lot of people struggle with Link to the Past.
Absolutely.
And and so essentially I think that's why Nintendo stuck with me in not just like as my favorite kind of video games, but like kind of how I learned how to draw, because I had these old manuals from the games, and I would redraw like Mario, Luigi, and Peach and Bowser from these manuals, and then a lot of those shapes are just kind of what I needed to learn to draw with. And I'm actually curious, is there any overlap between the video games you played, besides like the characters that you draw, but like your actual art style, the way you started developing your art?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like some of the earliest things that got me excited about drawing was designing Mario levels.
Oh, okay.
Like just like drawing out all the bricks, and like, oh, this would be fun to play. But then also the Super Mario Brothers 3, it came like the manual, and one of my friends had like the strategy guide for it, and it had like all this beautiful art.
And they weren't. It wasn't official, right? Because a lot of the strategy guides had artists from non-official artwork.
I genuinely don't remember if it was official or not. It was good enough for me.
Yeah.
That's all I can recall about it. But yeah, I remember just like drawing a whole lot of Mario sketches, especially when like Yoshi was a thing.
What do you mean? What was a thing? Like when he first appeared, or
when Yoshi
Mania
on the scene? Yeah, you remember the '90s and Yoshi Mania swept the nation.
Everyone was doing the Yoshi. Remember that? Remember?
Everybody was doing.
Anyone in chat remember how to do the Yoshi? Do the Yoshi.
You have to be careful because you can like really strain the muscle in your tongue if you do it too hard. But yeah, I've always been drawing bullshit. Oh, sorry, I've always been Mario's always been a big it was a big reason for me to start drawing.
Yeah.
And then also I was okay, I'm gonna go we're really doing a whole biography at this point. But there was a time during like my high school years where I got like really into like Jonan Vasquez and drawing like
Invader Zim?
Drawing Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
We have the same repertoire. Holy shit.
Invader Zim. But there was a time when I was like really like my style was just like 100% just copying Jonan Vasquez. And when I got a little bit older, I was like, I need to figure something else out. And so I tried like a whole bunch of different styles. And again, I think I'm a little bit older than you probably, but this was, I say older, but like this was the time when I was like playing Wind Waker and a lot of Animal Crossing on the GameCube. And so just like it went from that like very angular Jonan Vasquez style to like a very round
your
villager style.
You're trying to do something a little different,
Yeah. And I think you can still see a lot of that in my art today. I still draw like the little shape noses, like little triangle noses, and I think that's all still really present. Yeah, that's all thanks to Wind Waker and Animal Crossing.
That's incredible.
Thanks, Nintendo.
I
They'll sue me
definitely,
if they find out.
I definitely, yeah, they're gonna take down the stream actually first. I remember, yeah, there's just kind of this point where you're in middle school where like I think in general, you're trying to figure out your own identity, and partly when you're an artist, like that's also part of it. And so you attach to things that like, you know, fit with what you feel like your identity is. And so like Jonah Vasquez, I remember I did a parody, not even a parody. I was literally ripping off Johnny the Homicidal Maniac by we had a teacher who would just lose his shit. Like he would just like he would be this mild mannered looking guy, and then he would just kind of like I don't know, he just blows his stack. And
Yep.
I made a comic called I won't say his real name. Let's just say his name is Billy Bob. Let's just make that up. But it was like Billy Bob, the disgruntled teacher, and it was just like a teacher who murdered his students. And like I had a Mike Mignola phase where I was trying to draw everything on like these dark angled shadows. And just what, we've talked about, I've talked about this in the stream before, that like your art style really comes from like your failure to imitate the things you really like. And then when you lean into that, you end up finding something of your own in that. And honestly, yeah, I think you might not even have the same style if you didn't have a Jonah Vasquez phase.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And so
you're gonna make me do color. Like I'm really upset that I'm on
that's
here
optional. That's
trying
optional.
to color a drawing.
That's optional.
No, I know very little about this character, I'm gonna do as much as I can.
I'm gonna jump on this question because you got into it. When I was looking back on your artwork, I have this color in my palette for Puppy Night. This yellow color I have right here. I call it Michael Sweater Yellow, because this is the color that reminds me a lot of his hair. But also he uses this yellow really a lot. Cute. Yeah. Just a really cute statement about my writing partner. But I noticed there's an Emma, there's an Emma Gray. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
What's how did you discover your because you have a very distinct color palette that I could say that that's Pseudonym Jones, like that's a
well, now you're making me want to use it. Okay, so I'm
please use it if
uncolor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna uncolor everything that I just colored. So not sure how much of it you can actually see on the screen. Let me bring the menu down and see how much of it peeks out. Oh yeah, it should be good. Here's my palette.
Okay, wow.
This is my palette. This is what I use. This bottom row is like all my chromatic grays. I basically just started from like I have a bad habit of, especially when working digitally, like getting lost in the sauce, like you have so many options for like what you want to use, like all the different colors and all the different tools, and it's just everything there is. Like you you end up undoing everything until you get every line perfect, and it's just too much. Like I get a little overwhelmed. I don't end up finishing anything. So I think the last time I got really into art again, like this was like after a pretty long dry spell, I want to say in like 2015, I got into working with Copics, just like some markers, and they're expensive, so I just bought a few of them, and I kind of like fell in love with very limited color palettes, and specifically I got like 4 shades of cool gray, and that was it. I was like, wow. Oh, I love how this looks. And so when I started working digitally again, when I just couldn't afford to keep buying Copics, I kind of emulated that here in Procreate, and that's pretty much it. I started drawing Family and Spatzel around then. Well, no, that's not true. I've been drawing Family and Spatzel. I was drawing that with Copics during that phase. But there was like I started drawing Family and Spatzel with this color palette, and I was like, well, that's it. I really like this. I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah. That's great. That's incredible. Yeah, I seeing the transformation from physical to digital, and just it's kind of like when you see what do they call it? There's a word for it. It's not it's like, is it skeuomorphic or essentially it's like when
I know that word. I don't know if that's the right word.
No,
I'm familiar with that.
It's when even though we're all using flat pieces of glasses as our phones, the icon for phone is still a receiver. Like it's still there's anachronistic. Basically, your color palette digitally is anachronistic to cool Copic markers. This is very neat.
Thanks.
Of course you've thought of it like that. You've thought about this. Everything I'm talking to you about, you must have thought about before. But yeah, I personally came to color really. I don't know. I have a very. I can have a very warm color palette. It took me a lot to kind of start when I was doing comics for Puppy Night to start painting cool scenes when it was like in a dark cave or something. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you how I developed color. I'm pretty sure I just saw somebody do something on Tumblr, and again in the very like, oh, I want to do that too. I just started kind of doing a lot of the similar things. I think that's kind of how you start to learn anything anyways. Yeah, I can't say there's anything special about my color palette.
I think your colors are gorgeous.
Yeah,
like everything you
sure.
draw, like it's like sorry, I know it's like gauche to compliment a fellow artist, but like whenever you draw a scene, I'm always in, like, I don't have a good way to fucking say this. I'm just always in awe of, like, colors are not something that comes naturally to me. And for you to say that they don't come naturally to you either is galling. I want to be like, how are you saying that as bananas? Your colors are gorgeous.
Thank you, Em. I appreciate it. I think I'm showing my color palette here. I think what it's very primary colors. And then actually the way I do it is I color things very much in primary colors, and then I use different shades of.
I love that. Sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt you before you move it off the screen. That
No.
aqua blue right there in the middle.
This one right here.
Like, that's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, that shouts out to me. Like, I've seen you use that for sky, and I'm like, it's such a bold blue for it. It's gorgeous.
I think
please
keeping
continue.
oh, no worries. I think keeping these pure colors, and then what I do is when I need to paint the scene dark, either moodier or warmer, I use transparencies of color, which is a common practice. Like I don't really use multiply as much because it doesn't capture what I want, but I'll literally just overlay like 10% of yellow, and then get a nice color out of it. But yeah, I think again, like I did you go to school for art? I was just about to say
Absolutely not.
Yeah, clearly not.
Clearly not. Look at this.
Good bit.
Garbage.
But essentially, like, you just kind of like you fumble around with things that, like, work for you. And to any other artists watching the stream, that's just kind of like the way you develop your style. I always call it just making more of what you love. And I don't know, it's worked out for Emma and I. Maybe it'll work out for you.
Not to like plug my own shit.
Please.
The reason I created Make a Terrible Comic Day. That's not right. The reason I got so excited about Make a Terrible Comic Day, and I try and push people to do it so much, is because, like, you gotta just confront the fact that it's gonna suck a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta just confront it. You gotta get through it.
Yeah, it's the awkward teenage years. You have to.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do it, and then suddenly there'll be a day where you're like, oh, this kind of rules actually.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned it before. You mentioned that you copy something and you fail to do it, and you do that enough until you find your own voice.
Yeah.
And that's really all there is to it. That's
Yeah.
what you do.
I
You just fail until you find the right way of failing.
I often wish I can really give people better advice than this, but like it is a little aggravating sometimes how much epiphany is a big part in figuring something out. Where I can't, like, of course, I 100% say practice really does help. Of course, when you do something every day, you just get better at it. But there's just some things that like you'll keep bashing your head against, and then epiphany will just kind of make you realize, oh, it clicks now. I get how this works. Or,
Yeah.
kind of crazy how art works in that way sometimes.
I think it's really cool how art, like, a lot of times it won't even work like that.
Mhm.
Like, it'll just be like, I'm never gonna get good at this, and then you'll like finish a page and look at it and you'll be like, I guess this kind of works.
Mhm,
And then like
mhm.
6 months later you look at it again, you're like, wait, I was really cooking there.
Yeah.
Like, there's never like, for me, there's never been like a moment of revelation where like, oh, finally I've got it.
Yeah.
It's always just been like, you just gotta do it.
There's a part of it that is definitely what do they call it? Trust the process, which has helped me really get through pages that I'm just like, this looks like shit right away. Like basically, like, of course it's gonna look like shit. You're just starting it. Like, it's never gonna look good at the very beginning. You're not gonna hit the home run right when you start something. And then, but when you keep at it and you keep like chipping away at it or working it out, like, yeah, you'll get into something. Emma, are we feeling good? Are we ready to see how close we got?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So
I'm already drawing my hourly mandated to cheat. So
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Chat, folks that are just joining us, this is our guest Emma, or known as Pseudonym Jones. She's a fantastic cartoonist, illustrator. Really happy to have her on. For Recall Redraw, we have a hybrid theme, which is paper Homestar Runner, and essentially what we tried doing is we tried challenging each other. Sorry, the character's name was Vivian, right?
Vivian, yes.
We tried challenging a character to remember from memory. So we're actually not looking. Oh Jesus, I got it all wrong. I'm looking at the image now. We're not looking at reference. We're trying to. Oh, actually, I'm going to use this image. We're trying to draw it from memory, and on top of that, we're trying to draw these Paper Mario characters in the style of Homestar Runner, which I'm very unfamiliar with, but for Emma, it's like her second nature. So here is Vivian, one of the Shadow Sisters. And look at that. Happy Pride, y'all. So, okay. So I'm going to need you to, well, first and foremost, I just knew she was purple. There was just something purple.
No, you got the hair curl.
The hat is such like a fun color to contrast against like the rest of the purple. I just didn't really think of her as more complex than purple. She has gloves. What kind of ghost has gloves?
She's a Mario character.
Well, the ghost.
Everybody in this universe has gloves.
Not the ghosts. Name me another ghost who wears gloves.
Yeah.
Name me one other ghost.
I mean, the other two Shadow Sisters.
Okay.
They're Shadow Sirens.
All right. You got me beat.
Sorry. I know. It's okay.
So that's mostly my fault because I never played the games. But can I ask you? Well, first of all, also
you are trans though, so really you should know.
I should have known. It should have been in my genetic data. But also I made my version of Vivian like very unhappy.
Yeah.
Tell me, I was just trying to draw kind of like what I thought a Homestar Runner character could be, which really I think it just came into the eye. But I need you to be the judge. What would have made this more of a Homestar Runner character?
I think you did really good. I think if you had told me that this was the Homestar Runner take on Vivian, I probably would buy it.
Okay.
I think so the Chapmans, the guys who make Homestar Runner, are very into like this body you have here.
Uh-huh.
Like kind of like they've got a weird little turtleneck on for some reason. They've got limbs that are part of their clothing, kind of.
Okay.
Like the whole limb is clothing. There's no visible feet or hands. I feel like you did pretty good.
I'm so happy.
I think you went a little overboard on the rendering. Like they would never draw a shadow. Like a shadow is a little much.
That's too,
but I know
that's
why.
too costly
I
to
understand
Flash.
why you did that.
Too costly.
You're right. Because every time you move the hat, you got to redo the shadow. You don't want to do that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you nailed the style. Really.
Excellent. Are we ready to see your character?
Yeah, please. Do you have a way of?
Yes, I got. I'm just gonna bring it up right here.
Fantastic.
This is actually named Tubba Blubba. I said Clubba Blubba? I think it was Marcy who said it was actually Tubba Blubba. But look at this.
Okay.
I'd say okay. So let's look at that's Tubba Blubba. Emma, you're not gonna like this. You actually drew.
Yeah, the guy from the other one.
Grubba Blubba.
I know, right? Like, God forbid. I can't believe I got them mixed up.
Emma, you've been eliminated. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We've had such a great time. Everyone chat. Say goodbye to Emma.
Well, it's been fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
I really thought I'd make it more than one round, considering that there's two things that I'm like hyper fixated on. But okay.
So first things first. I think in general you caught the blubba line perfectly. You got the kind of, I don't know if it has a turtle shell. Are these all supposed to be like turtle, like?
No. I do know what he's
Are these
supposed
types
to
of
be.
Koopas? Because they have like the Koopa muzzle,
Like
the Bowser 5 o'clock shadow. The glasses, even because like you gave him glasses, but it's still in the shape of the eyes. Like the were those meant to be glares or were those meant to be pupils?
They were meant to be glares.
Yeah.
So the guy from Paper Mario, I already forget which one his name is. The one from Thousand Year Door with the hat. That guy has like an Omega form. He mega evolves into,
I see.
Like kind of a nastier version. I feel like that's probably what I was channeling. I know there's more spikes on that version.
I got him here. There is a lot. I mean, first of all, I love this design. This is why this character design really stuck with me. It's just like a fun kind of brutish character. I just pulled up the other one.
I forgot he was orange.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love this character so much, and I also liked this little like I don't know, stitch work. Like he has a little patch or something on his tummy.
He's like a little stuffy. He's really cute.
Right.
I like him a lot more than the Thousand Year Door guy. He's just kind of a grease ball. I don't like it as much. This guy's got some charm.
And then I see you added is that the kind of the little spots on the side of him? Is it kind of like the cheat has like some spots like that, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you were? Yeah.
Charm points, because I realized that I got that far and I didn't really give it too much of a Homestar Runner style. I'm gonna focus on that on the next round, I think.
Well, next round, Emma, we're doing the reverse. We're gonna do the reverse where we draw. I guess let's go with Homestar character. That we're gonna choose the same one, in a Paper Mario style.
Okay.
I think you're the leading expert in this, so I defer to you. What Homestar Runner character should we draw?
Wait, are we both drawing the same one?
We're both going to be drawing the same one, exactly.
Okay. I don't want to. I mean, I guess the objective is to stump you, so I'm gonna do that
Okay.
with everyone because I don't. I mean, have you done research? Do you know who any of them are?
So like I'm the only freak who hasn't seen really much of Homestar Runner. Like all my
Right.
friends, like I know
Where have you been?
who a Homestar Runner man is, and Homestar. There's the yellow one, the cheat, yeah, and then there's
Yeah.
the strong man, and there's like a. It's so funny because I think most of my image. I think you did like a gender bent series version of like Homestar Runner. Is that correct? Am I remember that correctly?
Yeah, almost certainly.
There's the one character that looks like a plunger, and I think you put a ponytail on her. And so that's
Yeah, that's
that.
smart.
So like, I don't even know what the original character looks like. I think I just know the versions that you drew.
No, Marzipan, I draw legit. I won't ask you to draw her because clearly
Okay.
you know too much. She is. You can ask me what she's
No,
supposed to look
so
like,
we're
or like
we're
what
allowed-
she's supposed to be. I have no idea.
We're allowed
But yeah, this is your
to.
canon.
We're allowed to see reference for this. So I'm gonna pull up Marzipan. Okay, so Marzipan does have the ponytail. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
gave her bangs,
Okay.
which is my little addition to the canon because, frankly, she should have bangs. She looks weird without them.
Should we do? I see some images here.
Now she looks totally normal. She looks like a totally normal plunger person.
She's playing guitar. Should we do one with a? Is she known for that?
I don't think we should. I don't think we should do Marzipan,
Oh,
even
okay.
though you know
Okay.
her.
Okay.
I think with your Vivian, it really puts me in mind of Strong Sad, and I would really like to see you draw Strong
Okay.
Sad. Do you know who Strong Sad is?
No.
You mentioned Strong Man.
Oh, I know who this. Okay.
It's Strong,
Okay.
Strong Bad is the main brother. He's the primary antagonist of the Homestar Runner universe.
Okay.
He's got two brothers. One of them is Strong Sad, who is kind of a goth, I guess.
Kind of a what?
And kind of a goth, I guess you would say. I don't know, as gothy as it gets in the Homestar Runner universe.
I'm pulling up the reference for us on our overlay. Give me 1 second here. Let's bring up so everyone can see. Reference. Oi, where's? Oh,
I
here
am
we go.
cheating and looking in chat.
There we go.
Um,
All right.
I'm being told that Strong Sad is emo.
So Strong Sad
which,
has
that tracks.
also has elephant like toes. I don't know what.
Yes.
Is that right? Is that canon?
They're called fools.
Okay.
I couldn't. It's fools.
You're the expert. I defer to you.
I'm pretty sure I have the entire Homestar wiki in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that his feet are called fools.
Okay. I believe you. I mean,
Yeah, they're elephant feet.
Okay,
Essentially.
okay.
They're just elephant feet, but they only have two toes. I'm giving you all the design secrets.
no worries. So, this is Strong Sad. I know. So it was Strong Bad. That was the name. That one.
Strong Bad is his brother.
Strong Bad. That one I can remember. I'm gonna just draw a quick Strong Bad because he looks like a wrestler, or he actually. I just drew Deadpool. Let me see here. And then does he have like a gritted teeth or something like?
No, it's even weirder than that.
What is his mouth
just a
look
square? His mouth is just like a square of flesh.
But
it's just a flesh-colored square.
So he's not wearing a
It's
mask?
Miserable. He is. Kind of. The lore is very, very loosey-goosey on like what is he actually? Is this just his head? I feel like. I mean, it's clearly got like on the back he's got laces, so
Okay.
it's like a mask.
Okay, and he has boxing
He
gloves.
never takes it off. Yes, he does. Famously, he has boxing gloves.
And he has like a little like he's like a boxing wrestler, luchador kind of guy.
Absolutely, yes.
He has like boots or something.
Yeah.
I'm really proud
No,
of
you
this.
got it.
Look at this Strong Bad. Look at yeah.
Yeah, I would know in a heartbeat.
Does he have nipples and a belly button?
He absolutely doesn't, but
He
you should
doesn't?
always draw him with nipples and a belly button. You should.
So he's not a mammal.
Please do. No, he is a robot of some variety.
Oh, is he actually a robot, or was he like hatched like a lizard?
I have no idea. I mean, he has brother. Well, I guess that's not really conclusive, but I believe there were jokes about him being a robot at one point. But yeah, to my knowledge, he is an actual person.
The only thing
he's an actual normal person in here.
The only thing I know is that he sings the Trogdor song, right?
He does. Yeah. Sure does. Yeah.
And the foothold that took on my friends, like it was insane. I have a fun story about Trogdor that I'll share later. But okay, so we're pretty happy with. Oh, that's such a cute strong bad. Wow.
And then you go draw the boobs. Yeah, there we go. There. He doesn't actually have those, but of course I always have to include them. It's fun little boobs.
Excellent.
Yeah, but his mouth is really upsetting. Like, it's clear why they did it.
What
like
is
this.
It like?
It does. It's just this. It's just a square, and it's got like a little shadow on it. So it's got like, you can tell it's under the mask. But then it just like squashes and stretches with him when he talks, and it's very unsettling if you think about it too much.
I mean, it's good enough for Flash animation.
Yeah.
Hey,
so we've drawn several Homestar characters, and we haven't even done the second round yet.
No, not yet. I was gonna say like, hey, like I can't say anything about the character design. I didn't make a property that's sitting in the zeitgeist of whole generations of people. They did something right here.
Yeah, you know. They did. I'm not knocking it whatsoever. I was madly in love with these characters.
Hey, I'm upset you don't like the square mouth, and that's not okay with me.
I mean, I don't. Like, I hate it. I hate it. I loathe it, but also it's very charming in its own way. And I like, I mean, I've mentioned it at several hundred points in my past that if I ever had like a dream, if I ever got my like dream project, it would be to make like a Homestar Runner graphic novel or something where they would just like let me go fucking nuts and do my own character designs and do stuff like that. I have had a lot of fun messing with these character designs. I like to kind of like, they're very restrictive with like how much the characters actually change in a given cartoon because, you know, they gotta make new assets every time. But I like to fuck with it a little bit just to squeeze more out of them without going to...
You know what that is? That's like when they like the Greek like orators would take like Zeus and have them like fight with, I don't know, some other character. Like it's just it's like taking the mythos.
It's archetype.
Yes, it's exactly archetype. Exactly. And you're just adding to the long tradition of art. See, this is Homestar Runner, right?
Yeah, you got him. His head looks weird, but that's the man. The man himself.
Doesn't he have like an underbite?
He does. But his head's kind of like, what is this shape?
It's not right, is it?
It's kind of like, it's got...
Oh, it's like a D shape.
Bigger.
I see.
Yeah, it's not bigger than his head is smaller than his body.
So
it fits very nicely, as if like he was wearing a towel around him, and that is the entirety of his outfit.
This is Homestar Jogger.
Any joke you make, they've already made. They've been doing this for 25 years. They have a knockoff. They have two knockoff Homestar Runner characters. One's called Homeschool Winner, and the other one is based on a typo somebody made in an email called Homsar. It's just I don't think you can goof on these guys anymore. Like, it's already done.
Yeah, I'm an amateur. What am I even trying here? All right, so let's draw Strong Sad.
Pretty little feet. Yeah, let's draw Strong Sad.
All right, so I feel like I have in me like the Nintendo, not necessarily the Nintendo house style, but I've written a blog about Yoichi Kotabe, who was one of the like long running artists for Mario games. and essentially about how I've learned a lot about the way he draws, because he used to draw all of the official artwork. When the first Mario game came out, Shigeru Miyamoto actually drew a version of the cover art. And then they brought him in. Actually, originally, so he was an animator. So a little bit of story about Yoichi Katabe. He basically he went to animation school with Hayao Miyazaki. So they grew up together. They worked on short films together for, I think, Toei. And then I forget, he knew somebody who worked as a producer at Nintendo. And they hired this really experienced animator, Yoichi Katabe. They hired him to animate one sprite in Super Mario Bros. 2. And it was just a sprite of like a flying carpet. And it just kind of felt like, a weird way to introduce the man who would like essentially define the art style for Mario games from here on out. But he basically, he brought like classic... Shigeru Miyamoto was really thinking Mario and Donkey Kong in the first Donkey Kong game. He was really thinking it was going to be a Popeye game where Popeye was going to be the Jumpman character, and Bluto was going to be the ape, Donkey Kong. But because they couldn't get the licensing, they made new characters. And so essentially Yoichi Katabe kind of created this fun, like, I don't know how to describe the way the art style even looks like, because it's in a little bit of a way, it is kind of
it's still kind of Popeye-ish, right?
Yes, it's a Japanese.
Got like that.
It's a Japanese interpretation of American cartooning, and I think it just works so well, and from that. I feel like
He's got kind of like this vibe, right? Like he's got like a Popeye chin.
Yeah.
I've seen that art. He's got like kind of like a.
Yeah. No. But there are some old old concepts of Mario where it's like that. So I feel like there's just kind of like a lot of roundness in those shapes, where I feel like I don't know. It's a good mixture between Japanese and American art. And so I'm trying to figure out what I actually took from like these games. Like I know, like, for example, like you drew a Mario boot like nothing. Like there's just something about the iconography of that kind of boot, or like the gloves or something. Like we know exactly how those lines curve in, how the fingers look, how pudgy some of the shapes really work. And I don't know. I think it's pretty neat. That was the weakest like conclusion to my ramble. I think it's pretty neat, Emma.
In conclusion, I think it's pretty neat.
I think it's pretty neat.
I do agree with you though. However, I do think it's pretty neat.
Would you do you think, great segue. So you're a mother to a beautiful young girl. And do you think you would be introducing these, like, is she old enough to like you figure out the game, figure out Nintendo Entertainment System?
Absolutely not. I have actually tried.
Yeah.
She sees me like I've been playing the new Mario Kart,
Oh,
and
nice.
she sees it and she's like very intrigued by it, and lots of bright lights and colors, and she gets the concept of a race.
Yeah.
So
she plays Monster Truck. She knows.
Like, yes, exactly. You get it. She gets very into it, but I don't think she's kind of like. She hasn't quite gotten her head around the fact that it's something you can control, right? Like it's something you can play with.
Right. It's not that it's an extension of her will.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to at some point. She's not there yet. She's just 3.
Yeah, I tried. So my niece is also 3, and I was like, oh, I asked my sister, oh, what is she into? And she's like, oh, she loves Bluey. I'm like, oh, well, there's this really, there's a Bluey game on the Switch, and it's like $7, and it's co-op, and it's actually kind of fun. It plays really fun. And then I sit with my niece like, hey, look who it is, and she's like, oh, it's Bluey. And then I put a controller in her hands, and it's like it might as well just be a rectangle. Like it might as well just be like a piece of garbage that I just like have her holding. Cause like I show her like, oh, she gets buttons. So she's starting to get buttons. She's like, oh, if you hold on to this, you see how Bluey moves, and like I walk her through it, and she gets it, and she's good at repeating the things she's learning. And she's like, oh, okay, Bluey moves. But then she just kind of forgets, and she just kind of stares at the screen because it's kind of like she's watching an episode of...
Like, waiting for Bluey to do something. Yeah.
And like, she doesn't know, like, no, you control these characters now. Like, all this power, kid. Like... But
that reminds me, my daughter has actually played a game, and it was a few months ago. My wife and I got really into Animal Crossing again, the New Horizons, for some reason, and we're just like fixing up our islands and stuff, and she saw us playing that, and she got used to being like, mommies play Animal Crossing. Because she wants to watch it, and she likes the visuals, and she likes the music.
Oh, that's nice.
And yeah, it's really cute. And yeah, whatever. It's really cute. Yeah, whatever. It's adorable. But she like I had my Switch in handheld mode, and she grabbed it, and she started playing it. She knows how to move characters around.
That's excellent. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah. That's how it starts.
She has managed to like open a door once or twice.
Yeah. I mean, what was the earliest you were? I mean, you said you took a while to play the Nintendo Entertainment System. Like, how old were you when you finally like started doing stuff?
Like, it wasn't until I was like 8 or so. So she's got plenty of time to catch up to the master.
Yeah,
which is what I call myself in her presence.
It took me. Gosh, I guess I can't say I was any younger either. I think it must have been like. Definitely, like by 2nd grade, I was drawing like Mario characters. What 2nd graders are like? What, 5, 7, 6, 7 years old, probably.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Maybe it's just hand-eye coordination. It's just like you just don't get it, like until you can.
That might be it.
Yeah, that's the secret. So. I have not gotten into your like comics at all, but one of the topics I did want to talk to you about, you know, we usually have artists watching the stream, and you know, as someone who is raising a child, and you know, you're not just, you know, you're raising a child, you're working your day job, and you're finding time to work on comics, including one that you feel like you finally started to develop a good process with Worm in a Rock God. What's it been like for you to kind of balance these things? Where do you find the time? How do you find the time?
I mean, I don't. That's the
yeah.
That's the problem. Like I like, especially right now. The baby is 3. She is not sleeping very well. Mm-hmm. Right before this stream, she was arguing about going to bed. I think she's quieted down for the moment, so I don't think we're gonna have any guests on here.
We're gonna bring Lucy on for just a second, real quick. Hold on.
Can we get her on? No, we are not.
So, folks, we're breaking up Lucy for 1 second. Say hi to your daughter, Emma.
No, I'm not even gonna pretend. I'm not pretending. I'm shutting this bit down.
She's right there. She's right there next to you. Look.
She's right there. Hi, Lucy. Hi, little goose. That's my baby.
She looks so tired.
Relatively.
Okay. Bye, Lucy.
Tired.
Bye,
not
Lucy.
as tired as I am. I'm sorry. I was not looking at the screen.
No, you're good. But so she, you know, kids at her age, trouble going to sleep at it.
It's rough.
Yeah.
So it's been really tough. Finding space. Like, I mean, the only reason I've done it is because I've put other things aside for a
Mhm.
bit. Like I injured myself late last year, like in when was it? November. Like really hurt my back, and just like wasn't able to do any of the things I like to do in the evenings. Like I couldn't run. Like I've been trying to. It doesn't matter. I've been running and like stuff like that, and I just haven't been able to do it. And then I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna draw, and that's what happened. That's how I started really drawing Worm and a Rock God.
Yeah.
It's like it sucks. It sucks to say. Like it's the only way I've found a place for it is by cutting other stuff out. And like, I mean, the other part is that I have a fantastic partner. My wife Alicia is, I think, at this very moment, laying in my daughter's bedroom with her. Alicia's laying on the floor while Lucy is falling asleep. So that I didn't have to do that. Let's do that.
Anyone in the chat, let's give it up for Lish.
Let's give it up for Alicia.
Let's
She's
see.
a real trooper.
L's for Lish. Let's go.
L's in the chat.
But that's really sweet. Yeah, I so you know, there's very few comic book artists that I know that are parents. One has a 12-year-old, and I asked her like, hey, like I asked her the same question. What's it like raising a child? You know, Catherine and I, we want to have a kid in the future. She says it's really hard.
Yay.
Really hard for those, honestly, from the age that like basically when the baby's newborn, it's easier to find time to draw, I hear, or to work on something, because they're asleep most of the time. They don't move, but then the moment they start walking is where it kind of like goes downhill.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Even when they're like really little, they are just I mean, they don't sleep straight. Like they sleep for like an hour, an hour or two at a time. So I mean, at that point, you're pretty much just trying to get some rest too. Yeah. Oh, there's never really a good time.
Yeah. So
sorry everybody. Sorry. I mean, it sounded like you were really looking forward to it. I'm sorry I had to come in here and burst your bubble.
No, I'm already looking at Catherine. I'm doing the kind of like, you know, the finger across your neck, like, all right, we're cracking it up, like we're not. No, but no. So you find most of your time to draw mostly when Lucy's sleeping.
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost exclusively.
Yeah.
10 o'clock and beyond.
Yeah.
she goes to bed pretty late.
And do you find that like you know, I guess do you consider yourself like a night owl, especially like even before Lucy?
Yeah.
You consider yourself a night owl. So does it feel like your process has really changed much in regards to like the way you make art?
No.
Yeah.
No. This is still the time that I would be doing it. I think the problem is the fact that I'm waking up at, so getting up at like 5 or 6 every morning.
Yeah. Well, well, it's not a bright picture.
No, I'm sorry. You know what? Okay, you're asking me about the specifics. The fact is, I really love this child.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't come across when I'm describing the fact that I don't sleep.
Yeah.
But the fact is, like, I adore her, and I'm happy to give it up for her.
I think
man, I am not doing a good job of selling this.
But I want to.
Parenthood is fantastic. More people should do it.
I want to share that I do resonate with this idea of this is an area I come back to in the stream a lot. Is like there is this internal fear with any artist of like I'm gonna age out of my relevancy. That I'm going to essentially I'm gonna die before I can get all my works out. And I reached a point where I realized that mentality was actually killing me more than like not getting all my work done, like not getting all my creative product. That feeling was actually like like keeping me up at night because I was like, oh, I gotta keep working on projects. It created more anxiety than it became worth it. And I just kind of reached a point where like this is a little different now because I left my job because of stupid AI shit. But even when I was working at my job, I thought like, okay, if I just draw one thing in the day, I'm doing what I like to do. Like I'm creating something. And the moment that I kind of realized that like I didn't really like, it's not nihilism. I think the term is called absurdism, where essentially like because nothing matters for me, there's still things to appreciate. Like I shouldn't feel so anxious of things because nothing matters. Is essentially what I gravitated towards. And from that came like I'm enjoying the process anyway of making art. I'm enjoying the process of hanging out with you, talking with you while we're drawing. I'm enjoying the time that I spend with my wife, just like walking in the park. Like, why am I gonna let something like finishing like whatever story I want to put out there before why am I like sure, work towards it, but don't let it feel like it's the thing you have to do before you die. So the relevance of what I'm trying to get at is when my wife and I were talking about having kids, the first thing that comes to mind was like, how is this going to affect my career as an artist? And I'm asking all these other cartoonists, like, how do you do it? How do you get it done? When does it get easier? When do you find it? And then what I figured out was just kind of like, I think when the time comes, I'm going to be a parent, and I'm going to have, first of all, and this is just me kind of assuming, but also like my best friend they just adopted a kid. They've been working a long time to finally get the adoption to come through. Like you're like, I don't know if this is for you, but like I imagine you're not gonna fucking worry about the comic anymore. You're gonna think about this kid more. And I think the priorities change. And I think I remember I had an ex when I was in high school, and I said like, oh, I can't wait to retire when I'm 60 years old. 70 years, I don't know. Whenever I'm gonna retire, I'm gonna play all the games that I never played when I was a kid. And then my girlfriend said like, I don't think those are going to be your priorities. So like I don't think you're going to keep the same priorities when you're that old. And I think that's really yeah. I think, but
no.
But I think I think that like when the time comes, I'm going to realize that like you love your kid, and like it's tough, and like you've made really great comics about what motherhood is like, and I think you still do it. Like you still show up for that child. And honestly, there's more to life than comics. And that's something that I really wanted to like ingrain in myself.
That's very true.
Yeah.
But also I need to hold on. I do need to make comics. Like if I don't, I start going a little bit insane. Like I start clawing at the walls if I don't do it.
Yeah, you still want to make your art, but do you feel like you're like do you feel in the same way of that anxiety of like, am I not gonna finish my projects?
It's definitely different. Yeah, the kid definitely has top priority. Like it's really no contest. Like, but also like I need to draw my stupid worm comics every now and then. So I'll just sleep a little less.
Yeah. No, I think that's dedication to the art. Do you feel like that the kinds of comics you make are changing because of the amount of time you have to make them?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's what Worm and Rock God is.
Yeah.
Like, it's 4 panels generally on a page. I mean, it's gotten more complex over the last few months, but like it started out as just like no backgrounds, no colors, a very simple character. Yeah, like it was made because I had such limited time.
Yeah. Is the story of Worm and a Rock God related to kind of the result of becoming a parent?
More than a little bit. I don't think I saw it setting out. But it's definitely going more in that direction. The more I find myself writing, I'm like, I'm just writing what interests me, and that's just kind of where my head is at. So it's hard to. It's just where I'm gonna be. It's where I'm gonna end up writing.
I see a little bit of the way you draw the ape character and the way you draw Lucy a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that a stretch?
Yeah.
Is that?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't intentional, and then as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, all right. Okay, subconscious. Like, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. But that's incredible though. I think that there's something really beautiful about that, because and this is me getting back about the priorities. This is again my speculation that the priorities do change, because you're still making your comics, but there's something about you being a mother and raising a child that still comes through these stories. And I don't know, I just find that incredibly one thing inspiring, because as a parent, I hope to be a parent, it just kind of gives me hope that I'll still find that creative inkwell somewhere, because I don't know, I had parents, my folks, I felt like if they wanted to, they could have picked up a creative pursuit, and they never did, and I'm very privileged that I found mine very early and still push to express it. But yeah, basically I want to avoid a future where as a parent I'm no longer myself, or no longer, you know what I mean? Yeah.
That's the worry. That's the worry about jumping into parenthood. You're giving, you have to give up something, right? You have to give up something because there's only so many hours in the day, and this child is going to take up a big part of it. But I think you'll find, I hope you'll find that you're not a different person. You're the same person living that 24 hours. It just gets amalgamated. It just gets brought into your existing patterns. And if you want to find space for stuff, you can do it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not going to be easy, especially at certain points in the child's development, but you can make it happen. People do it.
Yeah, you're doing it.
Somehow I'm doing it.
To quote what you had shared about your therapist, isn't that somewhat remarkable?
Oh God, yeah.
I won't dox.
Why am I talking about my therapy on social media?
I won't dox where you live or what you do for work, but I'll flat out say what you've publicly said about your therapy sessions.
You'll repeat my therapist back at me.
Exactly.
Brutal.
Actually, we brought your therapist here on the show. Welcome, Dr. It's fucking nightmare.
She's a therapist, so not a doctor. That's not how that works.
Oh, okay.
You just blew it. You blew your own joke. I don't know why I'm pushing you on this.
No, you're good.
I'm enamored.
We like
happened
bits.
to your strong bad. I'm looking at your strong sad right now. I'm very happy that I challenged you to draw this character.
I love your toad bad. Your toad sad. Yeah. What does strong sad sound like? Do they have kind of a low sad voice?
No, they don't. They have a really high pitched. It is sad, but they have a very high pitched voice. They're like, "Oh, I'm sad." Yeah. Strong sad doesn't sound like I think you'd imagine.
Gosh, look at this wonderful set of drawings you worked on today. How did you have a good time, Emma?
I did. I had a lot of fun. I hope I wasn't too much of a bummer. I feel like
you were not. No. Let me tell you one thing, Emma. When any point I've been trying to work on this. So folks who have been watching me, they know that I am trying to get a little better at this. When I don't have a guest on, oh, I could be such a bummer. I forgot. I think like what happened one time. The day that I decided to leave my job, I was such a bummer. I was just talking about like,
Oh, I can
AI is
imagine.
fucking doing this, and like I was just like, yeah, it was like I had somebody, a buddy of mine, reach out after the show. It's like, hey, you need somebody to talk to. That's never a good sign. That's never a
No,
good
that's really not.
sign. So, yeah, you were not a bummer. You were
Okay.
an absolute delight. Like holy shit.
We're all just going through hard times right now.
Yes, it is. It is a really here's the thing. Again, this is a little bit more of the absurdist in me. It is a terrible time for art in the sense that we have this terrible villain in AI art.
Yeah.
But what brings me into the absurdist mindset of like you know the sheer will of humanity, or the ability of creativity of humanity, is that I still see it everywhere. You can tell where good art is. You can still tell like something that can still inspire you to basically like keep going and keep making things. I remember like I was going through again the bummer time with work, and then I saw Ryan Coogler's Sinners, and like beyond it being a really fun movie. Had you seen the movie at all?
I still haven't.
No. But
I really want to. I haven't done it.
There's a gorgeous scene that it's actually a scene that goes outside of the movie. It's not even part of the narrative. Well, it's a part of the statement of the movie, but essentially they take you through like the age of music, and there's this beautiful dance scene where you see music makers, and music makers are kind of being represented as kind of like like devil charmers, that like because of their music they attract the demons that essentially are in the movie. But essentially it was such a beautiful scene. Like I cried because it was just such a it just made me realize that like you can still recognize good art. And I think that just through sheer human creativity, like that's the only way you defeat things like this. Like no matter what, like the fucking like tidal wave of just capitalist like fuckwads trying to like make a buck out of our own work and out of our own creativity. They're gonna do their grift. They're gonna do their grift no matter what. It's harder and harder to fight it. But it doesn't stop us from doing what we want to do. It doesn't stop us from making these stupid drawings and having such a good time doing it. And so that's what gives me hope. And that's why I'm trying to be less of a bummer on this stream. Because yeah, people are like, are you okay? Anything else you want to share, Emma? I feel like we've had such a great time with this. Do you want to plug like your socials again?
I guess hey, my socials, they're right up there at the top of the screen. Pseudonym Jones on Instagram, Blue Sky, and Tumblr. I'm actually really on Tumblr these days. 'Cause
Okay.
it's the only one that doesn't make me feel like I want to die.
Yeah. And same username.
Same username everywhere.
Cool. And yeah, follow Emma. Keep up with her Worm and a Rock God comic. You're slowly building a small cult somehow. So good luck when that thing like explodes. Emma, thank you so much for joining us. Oh, I see. Hold on. I see Lucy. Oh no, Lucy's back.
No.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness. And then and now
She's so
Lucy's
sleepy.
powering up. Lucy's powering up.
Oh no. Oh, they grow up so fast. I'm getting all these bits. I'm getting this like on significant stream delay. No, but I'm seeing it. She is. Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, let's go back to sleep.
Emma, thank you so much. I hope you have a good rest of your night. folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll post these drawings on socials later. And yeah, here is the outro in 3, 2. Where's my outro button? Boop, 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 boop. Outro. Bye-bye.
Bye.